Welcome. I'm Sally Treanor, and this is the watercolor series. Today we're working on clouds. I'm going to be working on a lot of different techniques and talking about the pigments that we choose for realistic clouds and types of clouds and types of kinds of clouds and times of day and that sort of thing. So we'll be specific about pigments and we'll be specific about the tools that we use. So let's begin. All right. So this is all cobalt. This is cobalt plus burnt sienna. Now, sometimes skies have all kinds of colors in them. And what do we want to do about that when we do a sky? Well, let's go back to damp paper. So I'm wetting a good natural sponge. And because this is a small piece and we're going to be doing it rapidly, I don't want anything to be soaking wet. So this is a fairly thirsty sponge. I squeezed out most of the water. And only one side. I don't want it to stay wet for very long. I'm making sure I'm right up to the tape so it's all wet. And we're just going to play a little bit today. We're going to see what happens when we do what ifs. So let's go into our cerulean and see what we can do. And we'll go into our cobalt and see what we can do. See how different they are? I love that. This is one of the things I do like to do is get a pattern that gives me diagonal. More saturation. You get a lot of interest going on with saturation. Careful of your corners. I am no longer rinsing my brush. I'm just picking up more paint of different hues. So I am coming in now with more cerulean. And let's get a bigger swath of color down here because it's drying out. Now I'm kind of doing a variety of drop-in color. I'm just barely touching the paper, letting the paint flow out of the brush. And I'm enhancing shapes I like. And let's see what happens when we come in with a little bit of French ultramarine. Remember, this is very wet now, so that's going to move a lot. Enhance gravity. Now, I haven't changed to warmth at all, but look at how different it is when I introduce the French ultramarine, which is inherently a darker blue. Remember, toward the horizon, the sky often appears to be lighter. Again, that's our particulate matter problem. Well, it's not a problem, it's just reality. And let's just see what happens. A bit of spray. Again, remember you're dealing with gravity. You've just introduced just plain water. What's it going to do? Okay, we've just added actually some texture because of the mist. So it's not like putting a big blob of water there, it's putting drops of water there. Now, what happens if getting toward the end of day, moving to the smaller brush, I really want to control this. And sometimes I wait until the next, till all of this is dry before I do some of this. But we'll just see what happens. I like to have a glow in the sky sometimes. very gently putting this on the paper. And it's very dependent on the wetness of the paper. And true to form, it's moving some of that blue out of the way. In some places, it's not really, it's getting a violet hue a little bit, but mostly it's a rosy hue. And I'm letting gravity help me. And let's still stay with the smaller brush. Let's come back with more of the French ultramarine. Let's get some drama. My theory on skies, sometimes you see spectacular skies and you say, oh, I need to paint that sky. It becomes a coloring book. Instead, develop these techniques of applying paint that give you a chance to get a watercolory thing happening. I think skies are the epitome of the perfect subject to use for watercolor because it's light and air and water. And that's what you're working with.